very quietly go outside. But again, these guys have eyesight and earsight like crazy, so we don't want to spook them.
Okay, follow me.
So I was doing some school upstairs, and I came down to grab a drink of water. And man, spotted this huge gator that's coming right up to our beach. I'd say 8 feet.
Check them out.
But they're very sensitive to noise and they have good eyesight, so we're just gonna approach it softly and quietly and see if we can get kind of close.
Oh man, this is so cool. This is the first alligator we've seen on our bayou since we've been back here to the States. We know they're natives of this area, and the bayous are, you know, notorious for being full of them, but this is so cool to see one out in broad daylight like this. He's just chilling. He's actually a good size.
Man, this guy, he's so stealthy. Alligators are amazing, really, because they just kind of float right on the very surface. So most of the time, if you don't know what you're looking for, it looks just like a log. But yeah, this guy's pretty big, although most of his body's in the water. So they kind of swim like this, the very head kind of showing, and their whole tail is in the water. And when they're ready to go, put their tail up, wave it, and bam, they can be off super fast. But yeah, amazing, amazing creations. Super cool.
So we have a canoe here. I'm thinking about maybe getting the canoe, but I don't think he would stay on the surface of the water long enough for me to get that close. As soon as anybody gets close, they submerge, and then you never know where they're gonna pop up. There, he's diving down into the water, but I still see him. I'm just gonna go and see if I can get a closer look at him. He's right over there across the bayou. It'll be fun to see how close I can get. Most likely the alligator just sunk down right where we last saw him, and was just sitting down there on the bottom of the bayou, just kind of sitting in the muck. But he was right over there, kind of close to the shore, and he saw us getting in the canoe. He's probably listening to all the movements that we're making, so. Ash is checking us out with the drone. It's pretty typical though for alligators to be real skittish. I think one this size, it seems like, would be a little bit more brave, but oftentimes they're more afraid of us than we are of them. I don't think he would try to harm us in any way. So I would love to get a bit closer if we can. The bayou gets really shallow towards the end here. So you might just be heading off in that direction trying to catch some of these mullet. It's actually kind of nerve-wracking knowing an alligator that big is somewhere right around here. That blue heron is called Big Bird. And for as long as I can remember, there's always been a big bird here on the bayou. We go back over to Indonesia for a couple years at a time. Every time we come back here to the US, there's always a big bird here on the bayou. And we know it's a different bird probably every time, but Big Bird is just kind of the standard name. It just sticks for every big blue heron. But Big Bird and I are best buds. We usually hang out whenever I'm fishing. If he sees me, he'll come flying over to my side of the bayou, and I'll always catch a couple pinfish for him. I'm not seeing that alligator anywhere. Well, I guess I'm not the apex predator anymore in the bayou. But I don't think the bayou's big enough for the two of us.
It is a beautiful afternoon, and Kean, Asher, and myself, along with both grandpas, are here at the Eglin Air Force Base. And today, kind of on a special mission. It's a once in the year kind of thing. We come here to the base and we collect pine needles. We're doing this for our grandpas. We have 2 trucks right here and we're gonna load them up and take all these needles back home. And they do this every year and they just use the needles for landscaping and other purposes. So this is kind of a common practice. It's kind of a tradition and we're really looking forward to helping out this year with that. So that being said, there's a lot of ground to cover, there's a lot of raking to do, so I'm gonna get started.
Well, you know something? This is almost like when I was a young boy and we used to mow hay, and you mow the hay and then you take a rake and put it in a row, and then you come along and rake that furrow and either bale it or stack it. This is kind of the same thing. You're making a row of straw, and then once you then you come back the row and make a pile, and then all those piles will bring the trucks along and fill up the trucks.
So we've done the hard work of raking all the needles into individual piles, and now it's time to load up the truck beds. So I'm in the back of the truck and my job is to pack these down as much as I can. The wise needle hunter knows to make the best of his trip out here. So we're gonna pack in as much as we can.
Alright, is this as much as we can do?
Yeah. Alright, the sun's setting, so we're calling it a day. We got quite a good load. It was really fun hanging out with both of the grandpas. We might do a couple more later, but for now, this is a great start. So, closing up shop, but yeah, great afternoon.
Thanks for watching The Wild Way, and double thanks if you've already liked or subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you want to get more involved with us, visit our Patreon website. Hit the link below to learn how you can become a member of our patron team and partner with us. Also, you'll get awesome benefits like exclusive vlog videos, like Wild Brothers merchandise, and a lot more.